Welcome to Beyond Business Barriers, powered by insights, driven by strategy, and yes, assisted by AI. I'm your host, Roy MacEwen, and today's episode is part of a special series where we sit down with industry leaders to dig into what's working, what's not, and what the future holds. I am excited to have Terri with me today on Beyond Business Barriers. Terri, why don't you start things off by introducing yourself to our listeners?
Hi, my name is Terri Paetz, and I am the CEO and founder of MTP Consulting Group.
Well, let's dive right in, Terri. I'll kick things off by hearing about your journey and the shifts you're noticing in your industry. After that, we'll dig into the biggest hurdles you're facing right now and what you're aiming to achieve. And we'll close by looking ahead as to what's on your horizon. Now, let's keep our listeners on the edge of their seats for the next 30 minutes, Terri. Are you ready?
I am so ready. I'm excited. There's a lot of great things that are coming to the market as far as where my industry expertise comes into effect. And main thing is totally the absolute, if you don't mind, the day-to-day that I do is diving completely into networking and relationships within the Microsoft ecosystem.
So, give us how does a typical day look for Terri? Like, if
Ugh,
there's such a
there,
thing as this, I know
there is
routine.
no typical day, but
That's right.
on the average, I do a lot of work on behalf of third-party software vendors, which we call in our ecosystem ISV, independent service vendors. So, as you well know, Microsoft has a lot of products. I mainly work in the software industry area, and it's called ERP. So, if you have any type of bookkeeping, we have, your small business, we have your large business. So, we have what they call Business Central, and then they have F&O. So, on my day to day, I'm reaching out to partners across the globe. This is not one region. This is not a couple of regions. This is globally to all the partners and talk about the new innovative software that's being developed as we speak, especially as we are now talking about AI. So we have quite a few companies. So on my day to day, that's what I'm doing, outreaching to partners, outreaching to my ISVs, talking to end users. Sometimes I get end users who are asking questions. Hey, Terri, where can I find the best, manufacturing, module out there? And so I actually answer, I have quite a few different variables, but here's the one perfect one I'm working with right now. So that's my day to day.
Sounds incredibly active.
Very
so,
busy,
so
very busy.
now, what have you seen any major changes or trends are you seeing in the industry right now? Like, what
Yes.
specific trends are changing?
So, it's really for us in the Microsoft realm, I can tell you this much, and I speak of us in the Microsoft. I'm part of the ecosystem, I'm part of the community. And right now, there's a lot of change in AI, Copilot, all these wonderful things that are helping and assisting companies. It's not going to replace the humans, by the way. AI, it's not going to replace the humans. When I hear that from end consumers, I kind of have to giggle a little bit. Are those non believers in what AI is able to do? I mean, it's enhanced my business as an owner quite a bit. When we're talking about marketing pieces or we're talking about pieces that we're enhancing a go-to-market strategy, we can get help from obviously all the data that's out there. It gives us even better ideas, helps us shift a little bit differently in that arena. So I think when you look at today, the trends, the industry trends, all industries should be looking to hire an AI component. I mean, I have one that every industry should have a client, and it produces financial intelligence. Every industry out in the entire world should be having this on their, if they're working with Microsoft, should have it on their mobile. These are CEOs, guys. You got your mobile. You're sitting there, you're looking. Full CEO, CFO can look at all their financials and get intelligent analytics out of their own data. So, like I said, the trends are there. There's a lot of things happening, and AI is making that movement happen.
Right. Now, what's working best for your business right now when you're outreach? What works best for you? Like, Like what keeps you going every day? Like what makes you continue on every day? What makes you want to go every day?
I get asked this question so much. And to be real, Roy, I'm passionate about what I do. So that's what gets me going every day. I wake up and I have a ritual, and my ritual is I do the mirror syndrome. Okay. It means you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, today you're going to be successful. Today you're going to accomplish this many tasks, whatever I have on my schedule for the day. I still believe in that old school stuff. Believe it or not. I mean, I understand Gen Zs are going to be looking at you going, really? You actually talk to yourself in the mirror? Of course I do. Who's going to pump me up but myself? So, I do a lot of self, motivational. I listen to a lot of different types of motivational uh, speeches and different recordings to, enhance what I think, is imperative for my day. There are days that I need that woosah. There are those days that I just need to be pumped up. But what motivates me most is I think all of my connections in our industry, and the software industry is not an easy game. It's hard. It's long term. It's, when a company's looking at, okay, in my old days, I was this director of a bank. I used to look at all these loans and I would see all these loans coming in, but nobody was actually looking at what their actual business software system was going to be. And that's when I got turned on to Microsoft because there was a lot that was being offered. And so as we got into it deeper, I started realizing nobody realizes is that your software is going to be the difference of it, right? So as we shift and the industry shift today, anybody who's got a company, and I don't care if you have one, two employees, you need to look at what your company software is going to do for you and how it's going to enhance you. If you're in sales, you may need, or let's say you're in retail and you have a POS system, or there's all these, you know, functionalities that need to come together. So I'm passionate about taking a company that really thought, I just need these funds to get there, but didn't realize if you don't, in order to scale, in order to grow, your profitability. You need to look at who your operating system, and it isn't your COO and it isn't your CFO. It's got to be number one, me, the founder. Number two, my software that backs all the rest up. And so I kind of started learning, Ernie, very early on. Power is in knowledge. And then, of course, always there to care. You've got to care about what you're doing. You got to be passionate about what you're doing. And
Absolutely.
so I mean, I don't know where you've been in this, industry as well, Roy. It's kind of like it's crazy. There's a lot going on, but I can tell, when you're off to the right track and being in our industry, it's really, really about showing a lot of, I think, gratitude and passion where I don't see a lot of that in, today's generation. I'm starting to see in the software world, yeah, there's changes there, but a lot of people aren't really passionate about what they're doing.
And I think a lot of it too is the requirement of effort. People want the quick fix. They want the solution, but hard work is the key priority there. You have to put the effort into it. You have to do the hard work, and everything else is tools, and they make you more efficient. And you said you had that aha moment when you were working at the bank, and do you see that same aha look on people's face when they come to the realization of, oh yeah, she has something here. She knows what she's talking about, and how can I help myself? Do you see that in people's faces when you explain to them?
Actually, there was just recently a conversation I had today that came up, and I took this particular company to market, and not in the European market. They're from the European market going into the US market. And, I didn't do my usual workshop to get them geared for the go-to market strategy. I just said, let's glide you in here slowly. We'll introduce you, kind of get you out. What came back, which was really I need to catch that fever that you got. You just were everywhere. You were talking to everybody about us. You were just introducing us to people. It's amazing, your energy. And I mean, I'm not some young puppy anymore. I mean, if I was, 20, 30 years younger, I probably would be a heck of a lot more successful than I am now. But I still go to these conferences with the belief you got to be on top of it. And yes, they get that, aha, how can I catch this energy? Well, first, you need to love what you're doing. Second, you need to understand strategic going into any type of conference or any type of meeting, or, you're going to decide you're going to take on that next journey.
I love your energy. I love your
Thank you.
energy. You act like you're 30. That's fantastic. I try to tell myself I'm 30, but the video gives it away. But still.
Yeah. I wish. Well, actually, I don't wish. I mean, not that I would want to go back, but I tell you, the things that really make me kind of really keep going, not the fact that I've always been a cheerleader for even the schools, the things, that, but I'm a cheerleader for life. And what I do believe is that if you're cheering on every one of your companies that you're working for, if you're cheering on your colleagues, if you're cheering on, um, projects, then what you're going to get is when you're dishing out positivity, you should be receiving positivity. And I still believe in those old school. Now, remember in the day, we used to have the Dale Carnegie trainings and we used to have I've been through the Disney trainings, leadership training. So you kind of have gone through all these trainings and, they're always pumping you with positivity. But in real life, let's look at the real industry in the real life. We kind of get hit on the left, we get hit on the right, we get, hit both sides. But if you do keep that line of positivity in your business activities, you're going to retrieve positivity back, I believe.
I totally agree too, and that's why I'm enjoying doing this. Um, Now, back to, we'll do a little transition to your business now, Terri.
Yeah.
Now, which metrics or key performance indicators are getting the most attention on your dashboard right now?
So for me right now is, of course, the partner engagements, how many partner engagements that I have, and how many are accepting the appointments to meet my clients. And so I think that that's where I gauge a lot. I also am a LinkedIn queen because I'm on it all the time. I'm always trending the newest information. And I think when I see my dashboards of, not only the impressions I get, but also I'm seeing where they're actually coming to my website and looking at all of my clients and looking at all the possible capabilities of having to work with somebody that can earn them more potential ROI in their own partner practice. So I think that those are the two metrics, the top that I have that I focus on. And being present, I use LinkedIn. I'm, that's top. Yes, it has its AI. Yes, it has all that that's included, which is great for me. I use a lot of chat and Copilot to help me in designing, when I'm seeing somebody post something, I'm making a comment to it because it's a wow effect for me. So I want to make sure whoever is following me is seeing what I'm seeing because this is incredible. So it's sharing is caring. So I think in LinkedIn, um, that's one of my other, secondary matrix that really make me, I see the difference in how much traction I'm getting. I'm getting more global presence and it's where I'm actually getting calls or I'm going to a conference and grabs my arm, says, Terri, finally, I get to meet you in person. I have this and I wanted to talk to you. I've been told I needed to talk to you. And that is the positive that you get from the LinkedIn, matrix that I'm able to get, or also the partners. When I talked in my industry, it's talking to partners, resellers of the Microsoft product. I'm talking to them. I'm bringing them new, innovative software. They're looking at it. They're examining it. They know Terri's on the floor. She's going to grab me and she's going to introduce me to something new. They already know it. But what's really great and what I got from a couple of we call them MVPs, they have referred so many other partners just to sit down and have a conversation. So I think that that weighs a lot. Those are my matrix.
Referrals are great too, and
Absolutely.
retention. I mean, the two go hand in hand. And I'm guessing you will hold a lot of your business is on retention. Your focus, I
It
can tell by
is.
your personality, and that's what lacking. It's not just about oh we'll sell it, we're selling it. This is our sale. It's the retention. It's the human aspect of it. And you touched on it earlier, like the people who say AI is going to take everything over, everybody's going to lose their jobs. And no, it's just another tool. I don't even, well, you can, do you remember when even spell check first came out? That
Oh
was
my
like,
goodness.
wow, I can actually write now. I don't have to scribble pretending I don't know how to spell something, you know? Like, and it's just so much. And that was like, right at the cusp of my education, and I was like, I know professors and teachers must have been so happy when that first came out because now they could actually read what we were trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was no doubt a time in well, come on, I'm going back to that generation as well. Uh, I was at the brink of when the computers even came out to the market, and I was like one of the first in the first computer classes. I mean, with that wonderful Commodore. Oh yeah. So, oh, I just aged myself, but that's okay. I'm
That's
fine with
fine.
that.
That's what mentorship and people following people is all about. You learn
Oh,
from their experiences, and that's where
yeah,
you gain the knowledge. I mean, hey,
exactly.
whether we want to admit it or not, we've 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 brought in to ourselves this wisdom, and now we just have to figure out what we want to share with people, and
Evolve.
it has to, and I know with AI and the systems now, I'm loving it. I mean. I'm of that generation where, yeah, most people they just kind of deter and move away from it and embrace it, step into it. It's the best thing that we can utilize right now.
I
So,
think the one thing that it needs to be pointed out, I mean, I remember the days when I came home to ask permission if I could dial a friend. Now, people only know in our generation, what does dial a friend mean? Well, it sure wasn't pick up your cell phone because we didn't have them. Um, and when you were out, you were out. There was no getting in touch. What I think with AI, what it's being able to do, especially, hey, it's giving artists, it's giving individuals who have maybe some learning disabilities an absolute avenue to pick up. So, I mean, it's for so many different areas when we look at what is AI doing, you know? So I don't just pick on the industries. Of course, that's what I would love to see happen is that all the industries start picking up on financial intelligence. Just ask Terry. I'll let you know all about it. But
absolutely,
I think the main thing is that when we look at this and we look at kind of our generational changes and what's happening, I think in our industries we need to understand it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're looking towards AI is to change things. It doesn't have to always be, we're still always going to look, even a designer in woodworks, how AI could even help with different designs and different ways. I mean, it
absolutely,
was really incredible. I got this course not too long ago. It wasn't a course, it was a session I was at, and it talked about just these things how woodworks and crafts, HVAC, I mean, all these industries could use AI to the next level. So,
yeah, and you can use it to the level that you want. It's not what AI is doing; it's what AI can do for you, and that's what people are
exactly.
the misconception, because there's so many different systems out there right now, and hey, they're starting to specialize. You need AI systems to help you specialize in AI systems. But you don't have to have a degree to operate them because they're user
No,
friendly. And that's what's great about it. And I don't know what the fear is and why people are nervous and timid. And hey, it used to be the old saying, you want to learn something, pick up a book. Well, now you just got to talk and ask AI what
it's
I'm looking for,
asking.
you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. I'm always reverting back to my financial intelligence company that does all this great work. And it's only, of course, right now available in the Microsoft ecosystem through Business Central. But I can tell you, when I look at the capabilities of asking one question, what were my quarterly, reports from such and such? And I mean, the C level can pick up their phone and actually go into their data and actually look at this and get the fine analytics. But then you can keep asking questions. So you kind of, what are my P&L for, this quarter? And then you can even ask more questions. Well, why are my cost of goods gone up? Well, or, all these little things. And this financial intelligence, it's called finance intelligence, and it is such an incredible module. And I keep speaking about it because this is I mean, they have delivered AI to companies that are actually working on, of course, the Microsoft Business Central. But what really is great is you can see how AI can take one question and stretch it and go deeper, and then go to another layer and
It
then
even prompts
continue
you. It
going.
even prompts you to say, well, would you like to know this? Would you like to know that? And
Exactly.
oh, yeah, I was just thinking that maybe I could ask that question, but and then the flow and the efficiency. I mean, it's efficient. And
It's crazy, wicked, wild when you kind of look at some of the things that have been innovated. When we look back, and I remember this when I was a very young child, how when I went to my grandmother's house, so I'm going to use another reference from the times of the day, which was she was actually washing clothes in this barrel looking thing, okay? And she would wash these clothes and it had like a little circle, but you would have to I think she was putting some type of, I don't know what it was. It was a stick of some kind in there. My memory has this. But then it had these two rollers on the top, right?
yeah, with the
So
hand
you had
crank.
the two rollers and you cranked it, right?
Yeah,
And so I just think about, and I think people need to understand, hey, look at where we were then. Okay. And now look at I mean, and then the washer and dryers in the 60s, and I remember those in the 70s and in the 80s, and now where are we with the total smart wash machine and dryer? Well, guess what? The smart wash machine and dryer and everything you have on phone has one little piece, and it's intelligence. And
that's right.
so, I mean, why are you refusing to even get on board when you've been already using it? If you've got the app for your pool, if you've got the app for your sprinkler system, if you've got
That's
the
right.
app, hello, where's the holdback? I don't know. That's just my opinion on it all.
Yeah, I know. It's I don't know. That's another total conversation for someone who has a degree in human behavior. I don't know. I really,
That's what I can't figure out. I mean, it's like everybody likes a hamburger, okay? You may have this choice, you may have this choice, you may have, they all taste good. Most of them do. I mean, most of it, you can't mess up a hamburger. Well, with AI, you really can't mess up AI. You can just go in and ask as many questions as you want and go as deep as you need.
and it'll tell you where you went wrong so you don't go wrong the next time.
Exactly,
So,
exactly right. I love it. It is so true. When you look at all those types of things, it really, all I can say is, hey, listen, audience, if you got one thing to look at, go to chat, go to Copilot, take a look at it, take, a few minutes out and prepare your questions just so you can test it. That's a challenge because once I started that was my challenge. You have to ask the questions though, as if you were asking, if I'm asking you, Roy, so that's how I get in. So
yeah.
the actual AI chat speaks almost like me because of the way I ask questions.
And it will,
Not,
it will actually go by your habits, your routine, your tones. Because I know myself, and I'll say, I'll write some copy using my tone based on my usage over the last 6 months. If you're special, and lo and behold, it's like, yeah, yeah, that's what I was exactly what I was trying to say.
yeah, exactly.
And I don't understand why people don't utilize it more, but hey,
Yeah,
they'll come
it's
around.
going to be there. That's for sure. I can tell you, I don't think I would want to turn back. And I mean, right now with our in the Microsoft ecosystem, we have things that are coming up for business owners. And if they're in that type of, system, a business central system or whatever, they have agents now, AI agents that's automatically built
Yes.
into the software. So that means these agents are just, it's agents. If
Yes,
you
and
hire agents,
the information that you put into the system of what you want the questions answered, how you want to treat them, their tones, their professionalism, all of that. You can teach to be customer service oriented to the best of how we used to understand what customer
Yeah.
service was 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's
That
how
was
people
different.
interacted. Well,
What are you
interaction
talking
does,
about?
it's right.
No, totally right there on your screen. I know. It's changed quite a bit. I get excited. That's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about the innovation of technology. And the one thing I can only say is go out and test a couple of things. That's the challenge. I think everybody needs to go out and challenge themselves just a little bit, even if it's for a few minutes to play on it, just to ask.
Absolutely. Because the only person that's going to know what you're doing is you.
Exactly.
So now, if you could take a magic wand or you look into your crystal ball, and we talked about one major issue that we could fix, but what in your mind, Terri, is one major issue today that you could fix? What would it be?
Oh, wow, that's a good question, Roy. I mean, I can think of 100 million things. I think the one thing, one always wants to have that magic wand and make everything beautiful, make everything wonderful. And I think, you know what? It's community kindness. And that's something I wish that I could just spread across the globe. And I try to do it in our ecosystem. Um, People really, the one thing I have, and I got taught by a partner in Slovenia this. If I could just give everybody a 3-second hug when I meet with them, instead of this old handshake syndrome, and, I mean, what is that all about? Oh, nice to meet you. Really tone. But if I'm going in, hey, 3 seconds, and so nice to meet you, it made a difference. It impacted me. And from that point on, I adopted it.
Absolutely. There's nothing
So
wrong with that.
when I go into
That's perfect.
conference, I mean, so my magic wand would change community kindness. And it doesn't mean just in my industry, okay? It means when I'm out on the street, it means when I'm out in a restaurant, if it means, being kind, just kindness. So that would be from my perspective, because kindness, okay? Especially now I'm in the service industry, professional service industry. If anybody's in sales, if anybody, hey, I take that moment if somebody's giving me one of those calls. Hey, I went into actually da da da. Well, that sounds like a really great product. However, I would not be interested in utilizing it. But what a great, 3-second pitch. Or I want to give that kindness back. They're working hard. They're giving me a call.
That's right.
They're cold calling me. So I'm not one of those I've seen some of these people that just get on and I am da 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 da, and you're just a no, these kids are out there, or young generation kids are out there trying to either make customer sales calls, or they're in these call centers. And, so my magic wand is kindness. Show them kindness back. Great pitch, not interested. Please take my name off of there, and you keep doing you and be great at it because you're doing a good job. Why can't we do that?
No, people like, don't talk to me. I don't want to hear what you're saying. And
Yeah.
bye. You know, hey, that's the thing. And most people out there that are working hard, and those people that do what they can to make ends meet, well, that's just maybe one of their jobs. They
Yeah.
have 2, 3 jobs now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the days of I'm working 12 hours a day and I'm making X amount of dollars and I'm going to buy my house, I'm going to get my, those days are gone right now for most people. Like, you're looking at
Yeah. And that's
30%, 35% of the population that's not their reality,
Yeah, that is
you
the
know?
truth. And I mean, when we talk about bringing ourselves out and making ourselves better than we were, I mean, and this is globally what I'm speaking about, because I see the global, awareness of how sometimes yeah, our communities are just, I don't know, what happened to the kindness? What happened to the goodness of your neighbor? And I still believe in those things. That's part of my world. I believe in those things.
Right. Well, I'm glad that we had this time, because, I mean, what better way to finish off than speaking about kindness?
Yeah.
So, awesome conversation, Terri. Thanks again for being so candid and thoughtful. And once we wrap this series up of Beyond Business Barriers, I'll be putting together a summary of all your key, or all of the key insights from all of my guests. And I'll definitely be sending that your way too. And you have yourself a wonderful day, and take care.
Thank you, Roy. I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of your program, and I'm just looking forward to hearing some feedback.